How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hope everyone is having a lovely day. So the trade deadline comes and goes today, Tuesday, October 31st of 2023, and the Cincinnati Bengals, once again, we see inactive at the trade deadline. They don't make any big moves. One of the biggest talks this trade deadline was, hey, the Bengals need a tight end. No question about it. It wasn't really a debate. The Bengals needed a tight end. You have Irv Smith. He's kind of starting to get into the system, but you can just tell he doesn't have the athleticism. He just doesn't have that catch radius, that ability to make the plays and the moves that we've seen out of Hubbard, out of Uzama, out of Hayden Hurst, and that's okay. I mean, the guy can be an excellent depth option, an excellent back if you need him, but it's clearly not there, and he's got problems with injuries in the past. He's had them with Bengals already this season, which again, you want to see the guy stay healthy, obviously, but when you're a Super Bowl contender, you got to play for that and understand, hey, our backups are Drew Sample and Mitchell Wilcox. Sample, not known to be a pass catcher of any stretch of the imagination. He's a good run blocker. He can be exceptional in that department, but he's not part of your passing system. He hasn't been. So it was kind of surprising to see the Bengals didn't go out there and take some, phone calls, maybe anybody. Whether it would have been a Gesicki, a Hunter Henry, Kyle Pitts is obviously going to be a stretch, but teams out there not doing the greatest, maybe picking up their tight end, find a rental. The Bengals had a lot of cap space going into this deadline, more cap space than most of the contenders, which made you think, hey, you got the cap space, use it. And I thought that was the biggest thing this season. You had the cap space, use it. Why did they not sign somebody and front load their contract if they had the cap space? Just that was kind of shocking to me that they left that cap space on the table knowing the future. But overall, with the exception of the tight end, you can understand why they might not have one of the other players. Of course, you see guys like Montez Sweat, Chase Young for a third. Whew, I would like to have that one. Now, Chase Young's been a bit of an interesting story coming up in the league. Came out hot as a firecracker, kind of. The injuries came across, was hurt a little bit. He's got 5 sacks again this season, playing pretty solid ball. And the 49ers will show you can never have too many pass rushers, as they are the ones who acquire this guy for a third-round pick. And for the Bengals, I mean, hey, that's the formula you want to have in the NFL is let's get 8 guys. Let's get at least a couple of guys we can rotate. I mean, we're not 8, but we can rotate players in and out of this game. Keep Hendrickson, keep Hubbard healthy, or keep them not tired, keep them energetic throughout the entire game. That's what you want to do. And if you can do that, subbing them out and bring in another really good pass rusher, that works. Chase Young, I don't know how much they would have paid Chase Young, because again, because of his history, I don't know how much money he would have garnered. And that was a story there. It's like, hey, can you keep this guy for over just the rental period here? And I think that's the big thing for the Bengals in general. They look at here and say, hey, you look at the 49ers position. They traded for Chase Young. They think, hey, if we can't have to, we can probably sign this guy. And there's a good reason for that. Because their quarterback is not Joe Burrow. Their quarterback is Brock Purdy. That's not a slam on Brock Purdy. He's done some great things for San Francisco. He's been a very solid player. Mr. Irrelevant. Very cheap contract right now, though. He's been on a very cheap contract for a while. And even when he's not on that cheap contract, you would expect this guy's going to rank inside the 5 to 10 range as far as highest paid quarterbacks are concerned. Not the top highest paid quarterback, which means they know they're going to have the cap space down the road. And I think that's the thing the Bengals worry about here is you got to be able to trade for a guy. You want to be able to lock this guy down long term because you don't want to waste the draft capital and not lock them down. And with Joe Burrow and company, you got to sign Jamar Chase. This team's got so much financial uncertainty right now where you don't want to pay for a guy and then only have him for half the season. And the reason, again, that's so important is because, hey, you get that third-round pick, that second-round pick. The Bengals have done pretty good in their second and third rounds, especially at the wide receiver position in the past year. You say you get a second-rounder or a third-rounder pick, you use it on a wide receiver. Now you have that guy in your team control for the next 4 years under a team-friendly deal, and they need that. They need that desperately. If you want to continue to be a contender and continue to, be a dominant franchise, yeah, it's great to be able to get those players, those free agent signings, those guys that'll take less money or that want to come play for you in free agency if you have the space. And that'll happen. We've seen out the Joe Burrow effect, but you also want to make sure you can build from within. The last thing you want to do is have no draft picks and be forced to work through free agency or be forced to reach for guys or hope and pray you make your draft picks hit the ones you do have. Because the key to building that Super Bowl contender year in and year out is being able to continuously build within and then keep that foundation of players as well that you already have. Because you can't just afford to sign every single player and bring every single player in because you're going to go over the cap. That's the beauty of the cap, and that's the beauty of good franchises continuously building teams. So yeah, it would have been great to see the Bengals. I think the tight end's an exception to that rule. Maybe third round pick. Nah, when you think about it like that, that's, I mean, if you was getting a third for chasing, you would have thought a fourth. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones just went for a sixth. You'd think a fourth, a fifth, and when you get to the fourth, fifth, sixth range for a tight end, oh, send him out the door. Go ahead and take it. Go ahead and take it. Those first three picks are really important. Fourth, fifth, sixth, or tight end, a rental, potentially a guy you can keep a little longer than that. Go ahead. But I think that's the problem, right? The Bengals are saying we ain't gonna keep no tight end. We ain't done it before. We ain't gonna do it now, which makes it difficult to throw out that pick for the tight end position. So I understand where the Bengals is coming from. They historically they haven't been a team that trades picks away. Just what it is. Nonetheless, hopefully this is a Bengals football team that takes what they have right now, a Super Bowl contending team, runs with it. Hopefully these players all stay healthy. You don't have to worry about it down the road, and we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.